meet you this morning and have this moment with you. So we'll go straight to our business of the morning. The topic is fostering mentorship in workplace. And so we are students and this is the university environment. We have lecturers in the house in attendance, also virtually. And so the presentation intends to speak to mentors and mentees. And like we all know, as mentors are like leaders. There are different levels. So I want us to listen to the presentation this morning with an open heart because even as students, we see ourselves as mentees. We may also have roles to play as mentors to our younger colleagues, our junior colleagues coming under us. So we have an objective for this presentation, which is to identify the importance and benefits of mentorship, identify the soft skills required for fostering mentorship, and to understand how to foster mentorship in the workplace. How will this business of mentorship thrive? Firstly, so what is mentorship? Mentorship is a powerful tool that you can use to foster your growth and development. So for yourself and in the workplace, so in the academic environment, for instance, the university administration will be happy to see that relationship blossom, where lecturers, for instance, will pick on students as their mentees and the relationship will blossom and such relationship will lead to your advancement, in success in your academics, you do so well, at the end of the day, university will be proud of you. Mentorship can also be informal and informal. It involves sharing of knowledge, skills, and experience. The relationship between, as you find, a more experienced person, like your lecturer or your teacher, and a less experienced person, which the mentor's major role is to provide guidance and support to the mentee. And so what's the key importance of mentorship? Provision of guidance by the mentors, transfer of knowledge, serve as coach. And so when you talk about the provision of guidance, the role the mentor will play is to draw on their own experiences to share to the student, to transfer the knowledge, to serve as a coach, guiding you from time to time in any chosen field of endeavor and giving constructive feedback from time to time. Another key importance of mentorship is the contribution to professional development and personal growth. Mentors will always provide insight into their work-life balance, their personal skills, and emotional intelligence. They are basically sharing experiences with you. So whatever you are going through at any level you are, as a student or a staff, you know that there's someone always ahead of you that passed through that situation and that level. So if you open up to a mentor, for instance, and you even agree to have a mentor, you look up to someone, you find out that you always gain from that relationship. It's a win-win relationship because while the mentors provide guidance, the rationale, the business is that it's not one-sided. Both the mentors and the mentees engage in a two-way learning process. The mentors will be learning while they are guiding you. There are things they are learning from you. It may be your enthusiasm, it may be the way you pay attention to details. Your mentor can also learn from you. And then you as the mentee, you are learning from the mentor because he has gone through or she has gone through certain things and be willing to share. And you have enhanced networks. So mentorship opens doors to valuable networks and connections. Mentees can gain access to the mentor's professional circle, expanding the opportunities for collaboration and academic and career advancement. And so what is the benefits of mentorship to the mentees? So you have career guidance and development. Mentees, like I've mentioned earlier on, can gain valuable insight into their chosen career path. And then your skills, development, and enhanced expertise. Mentees acquire new skills, refine existing ones, and gain specialized knowledge, increase self-confidence and motivation. A mentor's support and encouragement will boost mentees' self-confidence, motivating them to pursue their aspirations and overcome obstacles. So if I'll share from my experience, I recently got back from Canada on a scholarship, and As part of the benefit of my relationship with my supervisor, I was sharing earlier, he actually motivated me to apply for that opportunity because at some point when I saw it at that particular point in time, I was preparing for my pre-field and the volume of the work was large. I had so many research to do, and this particular application will see me delving into a different area deeply. Like it's actually more work at that point. I wasn't prepared for it. And each day, overnight, I'll be in school researching. I'll cook up a valid reason why I go and see my supervisor the next morning to say, you know what, this opportunity, I don't want to apply. Let me just focus on my PhD presentation, my pre-field and go. I would have rehearsed my points to tell him I'm not going to do that thing. When I finish, I will feel I've convinced him. He will say, you know what, I've heard everything you said and I understand you, but the application, you still do it. I will support you. Whatever you need, we'll do it together. And so he kept on encouraging me, motivating me, and he shared from his experience because fortunately for me, he had had a similar opportunity where he went to University of Ottawa for an opportunity and he was there for 6 months for research. And so he kept on sharing his experience. Oh, it helped his work, his this, his that. And I kept saying in my mind, if he could do it, maybe I should try. And so because he motivated me, it actually boosted my self-confidence and I gave it a shot. So that's one of the benefits of mentorship to mentees, to expand your professional network, and then the sense of belonging and support. It provides mentees a sense of support within the workplace and in the school. For instance, if you have a good mentor, your supervisor, you have lecturers you are looking up to, no matter what you are going through, no matter the setback, no matter the difficulty or the challenge, you know that you can overcome it. Why? Because you have mentors. Your mentors may even be your senior colleagues, your mates. You know that they support you, they will give you the emotional support to do whatever assistance, and you will always thrive through whatever circumstances you find yourself, and you know that at every point in time you have someone to turn to for encouragement. And then enhance leadership skills. The mentors develop their leadership abilities by guiding and supporting their mentees. So it's a two-way thing because I see it as a two-way traffic. As the mentor is pouring into the mentee is also learning skills, constructive feedback, how to ensure that the relationship is smooth. And then there's personal fulfillment and satisfaction from the side of the mentors to the mentees. Mentors experience a deep sense of satisfaction in helping others succeed. So I can imagine how, for instance, my mentors are feeling right now. I encouraged this lady, she came and she got it. That alone is very good. And they witness their mentees' growth and accomplishment, and it brings them a sense of pride and fulfillment. And we've spoken about earlier on expanded professional network. It also expands the mentor's professional network because so I have mentees and so they encourage me as I go forward and I go ahead. I break into new circles. I'm also carrying my mentors along. So that means that wherever circle I go to get into, the mentors also have opportunity to get into such circles, and it expands their professional network, which can lead to more opportunities and collaborations for the mentors. It also strengthens the industry knowledge. Mentorship keeps mentors engaged with latest trends and developments in their field. So we'll go on. By sharing their knowledge with mentees, mentors stay at the forefront of their industry, enhance teaching and communication skills. One of the benefits of mentorship is that mentors hone their teaching and communication skills as they explain concepts, provide guidance, and answer questions. So each time you ask, like yesterday, I was presenting, for instance, a presentation, and someone asked me, I was speaking on preparing for global opportunities. And then one of the first questions the participants asked was, he wanted to know what kind of opportunities are global opportunities? What am I talking about? And so that was a good one for me. So imagine if I'm mentoring someone and your mentor comes and asks a particular question, or a mentee, you go and you prepare questions to ask your mentors. If the mentor doesn't even have that answer at that point, the mentor will go and research. And by the time the mentor is coming back to you, he would have learned something and developed himself. So at the end of the day, it helps the mentors to effectively articulate ideas that is valuable to both professional and personal settings. So as you pour in, as you engage yourself in the relationship, it helps you to advance yourself. So soft skills for mentors. So you remember we are talking about fostering mentorship in the workplace. So you have the mentors and mentees relationship. You need to know that as a mentee from this side, from the side of the student, you have a role to play. So no matter how good a mentor is, there must always be a role for the mentee to play. And so there are some skills you need to have, just like attitude, the character, the kind of person you need to be for you to engage in a relationship. That's the kind of relationship you have with your mates in the class. For instance, how many of us have best friends or buddies in the class? If you have a friend in this class, can I see your hands up? Good. So for you to have a friend, there's a way you present yourself in that relationship, and that's why that person is your friend. So for instance, when we came for this lecture this morning, some people were early. I'm sure by the time you got here, you did not see your classmates. You called and you said, "Where are you? I'm already in class. A presentation is going on." You look out for your friend. And so there are certain kind of skills that plays out in that relationship, and that's what enhances the relationship. Am I right? That's also, you also have to have certain skills that will enhance the mentorship relationship. And so for the mentors, I'm going to talk about some soft skills for the mentors. You have interpersonal skills and intrapersonal skills. And so for interpersonal skills, mentors would need to hone their communication skills. They'll bring it to play, empathy, communication skills, ability to be able to communicate, to understand. There are different types of communication. You need to know whether you're understanding the mentee and whether they can understand you perfectly. You need to be able to see yourself as a mentor, put yourself in the shoes of that mentee to understand what they are going through. You have to be respectful of even the mentee, even though you are bigger, you know that you give them enough time to grow. The mentor must also have active listening skills. So when someone is speaking to you and you are listening, remember I said as a student, even as you are a 500 level student, you could also serve as mentors to 100 level, for instance. You could pick interest in one or two persons and say, you know what, you must excel. I want to give you some tips. I want to show you how I'm doing it. So you have to be open-minded. You don't know all. Even if you feel you know all, you must be open to different experiences, other people's perspectives. And so you have intrapersonal skills, self-awareness, emotional intelligence. You must know that you don't know it all. You must be aware of your faults. So no matter how you have strength, you also have weaknesses. So when you know these weaknesses, you know how to apply yourself and adjust it when you are dealing with your mentee. And so because you know it all, you don't have to feel too proud. You have to be humble. You have to be patient as a mentor with your mentee, giving them time to grow at their own pace. When you give them the correction, constructive feedback, you give them allowance to grow, to take those corrections. And then you have to be able to self-regulate and continuous learning. So for instance, I have a mentor. I'm also mentors to other people. So that means that I'm learning. I'm regulating myself. I'm looking at the things that I need to grow, to develop more on, the things I need to learn and unlearn. And as I'm developing myself, it's also pouring back into the mentee. And so these things are for mentors. So, but there are also soft skills for mentees. It's like I said, it's a two-way traffic. The mentee also have to be respectful. The fact that someone has given you the privilege to mentor you, it doesn't mean you should disrespect the person and feel, oh, maybe I'm at fault, I can talk to you anyhow. You have to be mindful of the person's time, and the person gives you the time. You're mindful of the person's time and how you communicate with the person. You have to be open to learning as a mentee. Also, active listening skill. Imagine someone giving you her time or his time. The person is communicating with you, chatting with you, maybe in a Zoom meeting to clarify certain things, and you do not understand. You are not really hearing all the advice the person is giving you. Effective communication. You are going through an issue, you need something, you must actually take the time to communicate clearly. You may even, as a mentee, take time Practice taking time to write out questions that you want to discuss with your mentee before time. And then you need one thing that is very key among the soft skills for this mentor and mentorship relationship is that you need to take the initiative for your own growth. The fact that a professor is mentoring you or as a lecturer, a junior lecturer, you have a senior colleague in the office mentoring you, it doesn't mean you leave your growth, your initiative to the mentor. No, you have to take your initiative. If you know that there are courses you need to do, you know the areas where you are lagging behind, and they have advised you, you have to take the initiative to ensure that you follow through to those constructive feedback. You have to show appreciation. Appreciation indeed is application for more. When someone is giving you their time, and there are different ways you show appreciation aside gifts, and try to say it. You have to write that, learn how to show appreciation by saying it. Don't say I appreciate you in my mind. I'll try to tell you later. No. If someone is doing something for you, actually show the appreciation, timely appreciation, let the person know that you appreciate the time. And then self-reflection from time to time with the relationship with the mentor. Look at all the advice you've been getting. Assess yourself to see how you are doing and decide where you need to improve. And so there's self-reliance and develop independence. The fact that you have a mentor doesn't mean that you should now leave all your worries and all your development plans to the mentor to carry you along. No. There's a part where, remember that right now you may be a mentee, but the other aspect of it is that you are a leader that is developing. So while you are getting help from a mentor, know that you are building yourself to be independent, to also be able to rely on yourself. After taking these few advice, you go and you work on it, you are better, so that you are strong to be able to act as that kind of mentor to someone else. You can also have respectful disagreement with your mentor. Doesn't mean that you must agree or disagree to fight. If you disagree respectfully, if your mentor gives you a particular advice and you don't take it, so respectfully, I do not agree, I do not accept, and then you can still be friends. And then you have empathy. Here in this aspect, remember that your mentor, the supervisor, the person you are looking up to, is human and may be susceptible to certain flaws, may make certain errors. So when you see those flaws from time to time, you show empathy, you understand, and also you apply your networking and relationship skills. If it's like a branch has been given to you, your mentor or supervisor may introduce you to someone. Like I've had, even as a student while I was here, my supervisor introducing me to one or two students and say, oh, go and meet Dr. Sophia, she's in your field, she could help you. You must learn the skills, know how to be able to hone a relationship, like take a relationship to the next level. Move it from high level to what you can get. You can actually collaborate with someone, do something valuable with a relationship or a connection from your mentor. So that networking skill is also a skill you need to build and develop from here. Even as students, you are 400 and 500 level students. That means right now you are planning to exit the university. In the next 1 year, in the next 2 years, you'll be leaving from law school. You know the funny thing, in the next few months, some of you may never meet yourself again. You may not see yourself in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years. So guess what? How you live right now, what kind of contact, what effort are you making to get to know yourself, to see where you can be of help to each other in the future. So those are the kind of skills you need to start building. So while you are working with your mentors part-time, you have to hone this kind of skills. And so how do you foster the mentorship in the workplace? So this is your own workplace, for instance, as students. The university environment is where you are thriving as lecturers, and then you can find yourself anywhere. The management can provide training and resources for mentors and mentees. For instance, something like this can provide training on how to be effective mentors and mentees from time to time. The administration and management can have initiatives for matching mentors to mentees. So there are some organizations actually where they have mentorship sessions. I remember in the course of my research, I conducted interviews. And while speaking to a director, I think that's from Ghana, he said it's a multinational organization. They have an initiative in the organization whereby they have this counseling session they do for the early career management staff. So when they come in, they have a session with you, they merge you to a counselor, which is supposed to be like your mentor, and they counsel you, ask you certain things. So what are your plans? And then, so when they see the area you are going to, the counselor or the staff or the senior supervisor in charge will be able to match you to say, oh, okay, you need to speak to that prof. You have interest in intellectual property. Okay, Professor Duneke, that's our area. She'll be interested in doing something with you. Maybe you want to be interested, she's interested in having younger students come and join a particular project. So for this, generally for organizations, they can take the initiative to have like a plan whereby from time to time you have the conversation with students to know the kind of person that they will need as a mentor and match them based on their interest, skills, and experience. Organizations can also provide opportunities for mentors and mentees to connect. So programs like these, organizations where mentors and mentees can meet to connect through mentorship programs or events. So not just a situation where you go and you take your class and you go. There can be very intentional programs where you have the time to actually share experiences, because if you don't know someone, you can only mentor someone or choose someone like a mentor that you know. So as a student, on your own part, you can take interest, know yourself, know your lecturers, because you are growing up at this point, you may not really realize what might interest you. But how you begin to know is when you begin to pay attention to your supervisors to see what they are doing. The lecturers begin to read their profile, they are in different projects, get interested, read about their work, and then you begin to get interested when you are more exposed to what they are doing and you are more able to connect. Imagine meeting a prof and say, oh, by the way, I read your article that talks about animals. I'm interested. We actually have a cat, and you commence a conversation. Nobody would not be interested in listening to you because the person will say, oh, this student has actually taken the time to read my work. So those are the kind of things. And so organizations can create such platforms. And so what's the action plan after now for you? My recommendation for the action plan after this discussion is for you, if you not already have one, to locate suitable mentors and mentees. So because it's all about giving back, I said at your level, at any level you are, like what I'm trying to do now, you can look out for people you want to mentor. Even you can actually reach out. I am one that has been graced right from time, because now that I even said locate suitable mentors and mentees, one of my mentees, Professor Abiri, I remember when I was in school, he was my leader. He actually located me because you always call me and call me, ask me, what's your next plan? What's this? What's that? Until it was much later I understood what he was trying to do. He was actually mentoring me, and he took me from school. I mean, from like 300, 400, 500 level, he followed me up. I mean, right from when I was going to the law school. What were you going to? I think he was the first person that told me about ICSAN. Have you heard of ICSAN? Then it was ICSA. It was in the UK. I said no. And then he would send me materials, post things. I was in Delta State from Lagos. And he actually connected me. Remember I talked about networking and meeting people, building relationships with. That prof is one man that had connected me. He referred me to one lady, one of the students in last student, said one Alero lady, I've never met her for about 20 years. And she said that was the first lady that sent me material from ICSA material. Before I started reading about it. And so God had placed it in his heart at that time to locate me. I'm sure he located one or two other students, and he was mentoring me and guiding me. I didn't know what ICSA was about. And I said, what is it about? And then he said, okay, do you know MTN? Then, the mobile network just came to the country. It's okay. Would you like to be like company secretary? And then, so he was trying to open my eyes and my mind to the kind of things I can be if I have that kind of certification. Because I was planning to do other things for the 1 year I'd finished my first degree before law school. And so by the time he was through with me, I made up my mind. I said, okay, I'm going to take this exam. So he located me. So you can actually locate suitable mentors, and the mentors in the house, the supervisors, you can actually think of locating people that you know that, okay, you can work with. And with a senior student, you can look out for 100 level, 200 level, 300 level students even your mates, because we are not all equal. Some of us, we know we struggle in different areas. When we were doing our PhD, when I was here, we had one or two, three of us, we had our hands, we were mentoring ourselves, we're pulling each other up. As I was writing papers, we had friends, I mean, we're like three, four, we're always asking ourselves, how far? Have you finished? What are you doing right now? I'm writing something. I will send to my friend. Please help me look at this topic. It's still good. Let's take it together. So you can actually locate mentors. And so another way to look at it in that angle, you can have accountability partners. You can have a friend. You can actually mentor yourself to say we all have to get to the promised land, which is that we want to do the best, the zenith of our careers. And then the organization the school management can also help to match mentors to mentees. You can have cohorts. Like I said, I'm interested in getting cohorts from here, forming a cohort of mentees, people that are serious, that really want to grow. Then you can help match mentors to mentees. So for instance, if you come to me, you want me to mentor you, and you're in a particular area, and it's not my area, unless I know a professor, I know a friend that is in a certain area, I can introduce you. Those are the kind of things that kind of relationship can do, and I give you a good recommendation, and then you take the relationship further from there. And then the management also can create programs for mentors to interact with mentees. So in conclusion, the mentorship is a valuable tool that can be used to foster growth and development in the school, in the workplace, wherever you find yourself. Organizations that invest in mentorship programs will reap a number of benefits, including increased employee satisfaction, student satisfaction, improved academic and career development, and enhanced retention rates. Thank you very much.